From the book of Genesis, Genesis 45, 1 and the following. Hear now the word of the Lord from the New Revised Standard Version of God's holy and precious word. Then Joseph could no longer control himself before all those who stood by him, and he cried out, "Send everyone away from me." So no one stayed with him when Joseph made himself known to his brothers. He wept so loudly that the Egyptians heard it, and the household of Pharaoh heard it. In other words, he cried so loud that the Egyptians and even Pharaoh heard it. Joseph said to his brothers, "I am Joseph. Is my father still alive?" But his brothers could not answer him, so dismayed were they at his presence. Then Joseph said to his brother, "Come closer to me." And they came closer. He said, "I am your brother Joseph, whom you sold into Egypt. Now do not be distressed or angry with yourselves because you sold me here. For God sent me before you to preserve life. For the famine has been in the land these 2 years, and there are 5 more years in which they will be neither plowing nor harvest. God sent me before you to preserve for you a remnant on earth, to keep alive for you many survivors. So it was not you who sent me here, but God. He has made me a father to Pharaoh, Lord of all his house, and ruler over all the land of Egypt. Hurry, go up to my father and say to him, thus says your son Joseph, God has made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down to me, do not delay. You will settle in the land of Goshen. You shall be near me, you and your children and your children's children, as well as your flocks, your herds, and all that you have. I will provide for you there, since there are 5 more years of famine to come, so that you and your household and all that you have will not come to poverty. Now your eyes and the eyes of my brother Benjamin see that it is my own mouth that speaks to you. You must tell my father how greatly I am honored in Egypt, all that you have seen. Hurry, bring my father down here. Then he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, while Benjamin wept upon his neck. He kissed all his brothers and wept upon them. After that, his brothers talked with him. The word of God for the people of God.
Praise God.
Pray with me, O Lord, that the words of my mouth and the meditation of all of our hearts be acceptable only in your sight. Lord, we need you today.
Yes.
In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. I want to talk with us this morning, going through hell to forgive.
All right now.
All right.
Going through hell to forgive. As Christians, we are called upon to do several things. We are called to love our neighbor as ourselves. We are called to treat people with dignity and respect. We are called to pray for those, yes, who despitefully misuse and abuse us. We are called to help out when and wherever needed, especially to the poor and the marginalized. And the list could go on and on. We are called as Christians to do several things. Yes, we Christians, we try to walk a fine line because we know that straight is the gate and narrow is the way that leads to life. Only a few find it. It's our daily struggle in our humanity to be what Jesus called the salt of the earth and the light of the world. To be change agents in the world. For you see, we love ourselves, but we struggle with the love thy neighbor part. Sometimes if the person don't look like us, act like us, think like us, we tend to say, well, that's true, they're not my neighbor.
Right.
So I don't have to really love that person, but I love you, you my neighbor. Treat people with dignity and respect, we do. But only when that person achieves a certain world status.
Right.
Or better yet, if that person can help us directly, you get all of our respect. We love to pray. But praying for those who wrong us. Well, preacher, that's un-American. That's just not right. Helping the poor and oppressed, well, if we feel like we might, but don't ask too much. As we talked about on last week, I like the boat of Puget. Am I right? My relationship with God is fine. God is happy with my relationship with God. So we struggle every now and then. That's what I'm trying to say. We're called to do a whole lot. And we know that. And we struggle in doing that. We for the most part, we try to do it and do it well, but it's still a struggle. However, if there's one thing that we all struggle with, it has to be forgiveness. And we remember the charge to forgive one another, do we? We remember Mark 11:25. And when you stand praying, forgive. If you have something against anyone, that your Father which is in heaven may forgive you of all your trespasses. Luke 17:4. If she trespasses against you 7 times in a day, and 7 times in a day she repents, you should forgive her. Ephesians 4:32. And be kind to one another and forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, has forgiven you. Yeah. Colossians 3:13, forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If anyone has a quarrel against anyone else, even as Christ forgave you, forgive that person. Yeah. Now, I can do that until the sermon is over with, because the Bible is full of references to forgiving. Right. We remember that. Don't need to do that. But if I took a poll on the top 10 Christian principles we struggle with, I'm sure forgiving others would be on the list. And for many of us, it would be top on the list. But as I was writing this, I heard the Spirit saying, Johnson, it's ironic that you folk, that's what the Spirit said, you folk, will have a problem with forgiveness in the first place, because it was forgiven that allowed you to become a Christian. What do you mean? For you see, we all at some point in our lives ask God to forgive us and accept Jesus as Lord and Savior. The crux of our whole religion, the crux of our whole faith, the crux, the foundation of our theological enterprise is based on forgiveness and God's grace and mercy. That's why we can sing Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Yeah. So forgiving is an important principle and a bedrock of our faith. But Pastor, we still struggle with that thing. Joseph must have known something about forgiveness. You remember Joseph, the favorite son of Jacob, who was sold to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And he wasn't sold by some ruthless slave traders or known enemies, but by his brothers who envied and despised him. Then to make matters worse, this is why the Bible is really intriguing. You don't need the soap operas. Just read the Bible. Amen. To make matters worse, the brothers went back to their father and led him to believe that Joseph had been killed by some wild beasts. But all the while knowing that they sold him to the Ishmaelites. Daddy Joseph dead. They even had his bloody coat. See, this is the only thing we had left. do you have to be to sell anyone? Anyone but your brother into slavery. Well, Joseph ends up in Egypt, and to make a long story short, after being again sold to Potiphar, accused of rape, thrown in jail, bail being denied, and having to serve an extended sentence, by the grace of God, Joseph finds himself in charge of Pharaoh's affairs and the second in command. And he went through all of that slavery, all of that defamation of character and prison because his brothers sold him into slavery. And as I pondered on this question, what's tougher? To forgive somebody that you really don't know, someone real close. Let's say a family member.
Okay.
Anybody ever had to forgive a family member? You know, I wrestle with that. I guess they're both tough to handle, maybe, but forgiving somebody close to you, family member, close relative, someone near and dear to you, maybe that's tough. Loved one who hurt you, someone who's supposed to have your back. Somebody who turned the blind eye when that man came into your room. Somebody that did not stand up for you when you needed her or him the most. Someone who cheated on you. That's tough. Maybe it's somebody close. Maybe it is that family. Don't miss this. Joseph is not sold by somebody else. He's not wronged by somebody he did not know. Somebody that he was intimate with a same table, probably shared the same bedroom, in the same bed. But whatever it is, we do need to forgive because we saved saints by Holy Ghost. We want to forgive. We know it's right. It's in God's will for us to forgive. We know scripturally we should forgive. It's the Christian thing to do. But the question becomes, how on earth do we do it? How do we forgive? Because truth be told, we just don't come out the womb knowing how to forgive. Forgiveness is hard and it does not happen overnight. How do we tell the family of Michael Brown that they forgive the police officer Darren Wilson for murdering their loved one? How dare we tell black people who are constantly and consistently harassed by police day in and day out to forgive? How do we tell families who have gone to funerals for their loved ones who have been murdered by some sacrifice with a gun to forgive? How do we forgive inept and tone-deaf public officials who see tanks and tear gas and dogs and curfews as answers to corrupt, dysfunctional, and state police departments satisfied with the bull-collar school of policing that keep those niggas in their place? How do we act? Folks, to swallow all of that and forgive. But yet, somehow, some way, sometime, at some place, that's the goal. That's the move. And not for their sake, but for our own sake. The cause call is to forgive, even if you've been through hell.
Watch yourself.
No. We must be on the road to forgive because we know in the end it hurts us if we don't. Ain't nothing like being mad at a group of folk who ain't even studying. I hate you. Who are you? You did something to me 20 years ago. I don't even remember you. Because it slowly kills us if we don't forgive. Hate and revenge feelings only become worse when we don't forgive. You ever been so mad that you get to crying and shaking both at the same time? Your body's not made for that. You can't even think angry. Because some of the biggest mistakes we have made in our life is because we walked up to somebody. Our bodies ache, our souls cry out, our bitterness and frustration creeps in on every person around us, and we become miserable, not only to ourselves, but to others as well when we don't forgive. When we can't forgive, we become trapped behind the wall of complacency and fear. We can't trust anyone, love anyone, or enjoy the company of other people. That's why their relationship never works. Why? Because you're still dealing with the mess that happened years ago. Always thinking about what happened the last time. And you mess up your children. Because they can't have a life. Because you scared for them. You speak all of that stuff into their lives. And the very thing you worried about, they end up doing. Why? Because it's over their mind. Listen, when we can't forgive, we can't even enjoy God's precious gift of life. God has something great in store for us, but we can't even get there because of the big old ball and chain hanging around our ankles, dragging us down. And I do believe somebody in here knows what I'm talking about. So the question again, how do we forgive? How do we do it? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because I believe Joseph begins to help us out in the text. It's one thing, just one. Sister Hill, just one point today that Joseph did. I believe that it enabled him to forgive his brothers, and I believe that it will help us forgive the people who have wronged us as well. Okay, you ready for it? That's just one thing.
All right.
Joseph focused his attention on the Lord. That's it. I'm sorry. I know you were looking for something more profound from me. I am a seminary professor, by the way. You know, y'all was thinking, he's going to pontificate some deep spiritual wisdom for us today. No, he just focused on the Lord. That's how you forgive. Whether family or friend, that's how. Focus your attention on the Lord. And when you do this, I believe three things. Now, here are my 3 points. I believe three things would happen. First, you see the person or people who hurt you differently. You see them in a different light. When you focus on God, the people that hurt you look different. They just don't look the same. In our text, Joseph saw his brothers differently. The last time he saw them, he was being sold as a slave. But now they were pleading for Benjamin to be spared, and Judah was willing to be Joseph's enslaved person. Joseph didn't see them as he had seen them before. And so it is with us when we focus on God. We don't see the person or the people who hurt us with only with our physical eyes. We learn to see with our spiritual eyes as well. We are allowed to see the pain and suffering that deep inside the person that hurts us. Now that's messed up. I want to be mad at you, but I'm looking at you and you're more pitiful than me. You start to see the sorrow in their life. You begin to start to understand what will make a person do the things that they have done for us. And God even said, you can begin to feel sorry for that person, even to the point of crying yourself. Because it's then that you begin to understand that this person must be miserable, malicious, malcontent, whose only purpose in life is to see who they can hurt. And who or what they can destroy. And you can start to handle that because you know that you're not going to let that person do that same thing to you that hurt you in the first place.
Amen.
These are the folk that come to the family functions just to start trouble.
Oh, wow.
No matter what you do for them, it's never good enough. They can always find fault. You got a red car. Why you ain't get a blue car? What note you paying? That's not in my sermon. I had a moment. I just thought of it. I just had a moment. How come folk come to your house and try to tell you what they want and what you should have? I always just tell Lisa, not bad. Go get the mortgage papers. Who name is I thought it was Andre and Lisa. It could be another person. I'm just trying. And if it is, they need to kick in on some of them. I ain't saying this. All right. Shut up. They're the ones that say the truth is good, but a lie works better. So they negate your name and ruin your reputation. They're the ones that get you in trouble, but somehow get themselves in trouble, but blame others for their mess. When you focus on God, you begin to see that person differently. You see that it's them that truly need you. It's no wonder that Jesus tells us to pray for our enemies, because not only do we feel better about praying, but we're also praying for them because they are the ones that really need the help.
Yeah.
And yes, eventually, the Brown family will begin to see their enemies differently as well. I get it. Not now. The pain is too raw. I don't want you to get it twisted. This seeing other folk differently comes with time. Because if they catch you at the wrong time and you're not ready to see them differently, I may be having to come visit you somewhere. Put a little money on the book and yeah, eventually they get there. You know why? Because Emmett Till's mama got there. Trayvon's mama got there. Jordan Davis's mama got there. These powerful women who will look in the camera and say, no, I don't have hate in my heart. I did. They owned it. No way in the world that somebody can murder your child if you're not mad and angry. And if you telling me that you are, baby, you messed up. You really need some help. But you get that. You begin to see folk differently. You see them. Not that you want to go out and have lunch with them. No. But you see them differently. But the second thing that you do when you focus on the Lord. Not only do you see your enemies differently, you see what the Lord has done for your life. In other words, you see that despite all that you've been through, the Lord has still provided. Joseph saw not the fact that his brother sold him into slavery, but the fact that the Lord used him to save lives with the famine going on. In other words, if he hadn't been there in Egypt to tell Pharaoh about his dreams, which allowed Pharaoh to put Joseph in charge of overseeing this great famine, everyone around Egypt would have died. And that's what Mama used to call taking lemons and making lemonade. Now, to understand this, Joseph is not saying that he approved of his journey. Let me get that straight right there. Now, in the text, he's saying that God kind of ordained God. Well, he's saying that now on the other side. But when he was in prison, if you read 43, he's wrestling with, look, what's going on in my life? He's not saying that it was a happy journey. He just prefers to interpret his situation differently.
All right.
Because when you focus on God, you see the Lord in your life. You see that no matter what people may have done to you, no matter what they have said, no matter how bad they made you feel, no matter how many lies they told on you, you still here. The Lord still loves you and still providing for you. Some of you still went to college. Some of you still achieved dreams. Some of you still bought your dream homes and raised families. Some of you still got the job that you wanted. And some of you stepped over obstacles to be here today. And what I'm trying to say today is that despite people holding you back, despite despising you, treating you bad, being mean and angry and hateful to you, you still overcame. And you're still here. You made it through. You come through the fire. You come through the flood. You're still here. And you've been kept by God's love. So now you can tell others what you thought was my way out was my way in. What you thought was my way down was my way up. What you thought was my stumbling block was my stepping stone. And when you are holding me down, I was holding to God's unchanging hand. When you focus on God, you see what the Lord has done for you. You see how the Lord has provided for you. But the third thing as I wrap up this word I see is that when you focus on the Lord, you see how the Lord has forgiven you. It's only when you focus on God, we can truly see that the Lord has forgiven us. Because truth be told, we haven't been always perfect ourselves. We haven't been 100% innocent. You read the story of Joseph. Joseph was kind of just a little snitch, and the brothers really just didn't like him. Now, they did some crooked and demonic stuff, but Joseph had his issues too. We have all slipped and fallen and have been in need of forgiveness. We also know how it feels when we don't receive that forgiveness that we so desperately need at times. This is why Joseph had to reassure his brothers. Hey, don't worry about it. It's okay. I know. And you know. Most of all, you know. You did wrong. I ain't forgotten. Matter of fact, forgiveness is not forgetting. It is remembering. In order to forgive you, I have to remember exactly what you did to me. And to put it out of my mind is to deny authentic forgiveness. No, I forgive you, but I still remember each and every day that you hurt me. But I forgive you. I love you. So go on down, get your family.
All right now.
Get all your stuff, come and live in Goshen where I can help you and provide for you. It's okay. I forgive you. You know, the text said, I want y'all to come closer. The text said the brothers came closer, but I bet you they thought, wait a minute. What are you going to do? I hear God telling us, I forgive us. What you did was wrong, and you know it was. But the slate is wiped clean. We'll start over, so come on to the banquet table so I can provide for you. But I also hear God saying, I love you. I forgive you. But remember, how I forgave you, you need to go out there and do right. And don't worry, you won't be alone. Because now you have the power to forgive. Because you have been forgiven. See, you don't have to worry about how people will treat you. You can forgive. You don't have to worry about how people will think about you. You can forgive. You don't have to worry about what people will say to you. You can forgive. You don't have to worry about if you're going to fear that person is going to do something to you again like that. No, you can forgive. And you don't have to worry about looking like a wimp or looking weak, because you now have the power to forgive. Start by taking out all of your frustrations and all of your feelings. Take those out and give them to the Lord. If you can't tell anyone else, I came to remind you to take it to Jesus. Take it to the Lord. Take your burdens to the Lord and leave them there. Take your burdens to the Lord and leave them there. If you trust and never doubt, He will surely bring you out. Take your burdens to the Lord and leave them there. I came to remind somebody that He is a way maker. He will deliver you. He will set you free. Oh yes, God will. I know God will. Because when you focus on the Lord, you have the power to heal and the power to live. And yes, even the power to forgive. And with this power, thieves can't take it. People can't fake it. Enemies can't defeat you. Trouble can't beat you. Mountains can't hide it. The world can't provide it. Sickness can't sicken it. Old age can't weaken it. Fires can't burn it. The devil can't turn it. Storms can't shake it. People can't make it. The grave can't hold it. The church can't mold it. Lightning can't strike it. And Satan doesn't like it. There's the power of the Holy Spirit working in you. And when you focus on the Lord, you too can go through your issues. You can go through your problems. You can go through your concerns. And yes, you can even go through your hell and come out and still forgive. I forgive you, not because of you, but because of me. Because the Lord still got some work for me to do. The Lord still got a blessing for me. And I don't need a bitter heart. I don't need a bitter spirit. I don't need a downcast soul. I don't need anything messing me up from my blessings. You are not going to take my blessings away. You're not going to block God in my life. You are going to stay over there, and I'll stay over here, and I can forgive you from afar. No, we're not going to lunch. No, we're not going to dinner. No, we're not hanging out. No, you don't have to do any of that. But I forgive you. I forgive you by the power of Jesus Christ of Nazareth. I forgive you because the Holy Spirit gives me the power to forgive. And when we forgive, we are better for it. When we forgive, we can hold our head up high, and we can walk, and we can talk, and we can be all that God has called us to be. Because we receive all of the grace and mercy and love and yes, blessings that God has provided. And we can now share those blessings with others so that others may know the liberating power of Jesus Christ and the power to forgive. Man,